What if I told you the strongest people you will ever meet aren't the loudest? They're not the ones flexing in the gym or arguing in the comment sections. The truly strong people, the ones who possess a power that is so deep and so solid it's almost disturbing, they're the quiet ones. The ones who can stand in the middle of a raging storm and not even blink. Their calmness is what's terrifying. Today, we're not just talking about being tough. We are drawing the blueprint for a mind so unbreakable, so self-contained, and so sovereign that it terrifies people who rely on weakness to feel powerful. This isn't about being a monster. It's about becoming a mountain. Let's begin. All right, first things first. Most of you live your lives like an emotional puppet. Your strings are hanging out for anyone to grab. Your boss is in a bad mood? Yank. Now you feel anxious. Your friend is complaining about their drama? Yank. Now you feel drained and sad. Someone online says something you don't like? Yank. Now you're angry. You see the problem here? You're letting the rest of the world play with your emotions like you're some cheap toy. You're not in control. You're just reacting. All day, every day. It's exhausting and it makes you incredibly weak. When you're an emotional puppet, you can't make good decisions. You can't focus. You can't build anything because all your energy is being used up just reacting to whatever nonsense is happening around you. A person who controls their emotions controls their world. A person who can't control their emotions is controlled by the world. It's that simple. And people who want to manipulate you, they love emotional puppets. They know exactly which strings to pull to make you do what they want. Here's how you start cutting the strings. It's a simple but powerful tool, the strategic pause. The next time you feel that emotional yank, that flash of anger, that wave of anxiety, you do nothing. You stop. You take one deep breath, and in that tiny moment of stillness, you ask yourself a simple question. Is this emotion useful? Does reacting right now actually help me? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. This little pause creates a gap between the event and your reaction. In that gap, you take your power back. Instead of being the puppet that gets yanked around, you become the observer watching the show. It gives you a choice, and choice is the beginning of all mental strength. The second thing that keeps you weak is your desperate, pathetic hunger for approval. You live your life like a court jester, constantly performing, telling jokes, doing tricks, hoping the king, which is the rest of the world, will throw you a scrap of applause, a like on your photo, a comment saying you're smart, a pat on the head from your boss. Your sense of who you are rises and falls based on what other people think. This makes you a slave. A slave to compliments, a slave to criticism, a slave to the fleeting opinions of people who probably don't even think about you after they've scrolled past your face. Let's talk about a different kind of king, Michael Jordan. People think Jordan was powered by fame or money. They're wrong. Michael Jordan was powered by an internal fire that was so intense, the opinions of others were just kindling for it. There's a famous story about a player on another team who said something casual to him during a game. Just some trash talk. Most players would ignore it. But for Jordan, it became personal. He didn't get angry in a sloppy way. He got focused. He went out and completely demolished that player and his team. He took that external comment and used it as fuel for his own internal engine. His famous line was, "And I took that personally." He wasn't looking for their approval. He was looking for disrespect so he could use it to prove to himself, again, that he was the best. His validation didn't come from the crowd chanting his name. It came from meeting his own impossibly high standards. That is a terrifying mindset. Because how do you beat someone who doesn't need you to tell them they're good? You need to stop looking for a crown from others. You need to forge your own. Here's how. You sit down and you write your own personal code. What do you believe in? What does integrity mean to you? What does a successful day look like to you, even if no one else sees it? This becomes your internal law. From now on, you judge yourself based on your code, not their applause. Did you do what you said you would do? Were you disciplined? Were you honest? You become your own king and your own harshest critic. When you have your own crown, you stop begging for the plastic ones the rest of the world hands out. Your mind is like a muscle. And right now, most of you are treating it like a lazy, pampered house cat. You feed it easy entertainment, you keep it away from anything difficult, and you wrap it in a warm blanket of comfort. You avoid hard conversations, you avoid difficult projects. You avoid anything that feels like a struggle, and the worst part, you call it self-care. You call it protecting your peace. But it's not peace, it's sedation. You're not resting, you're retreating. You're not recovering, you're escaping. What happens to a muscle that's never used? It gets weak. It gets soft. It withers away. That's what's happening to your mind. Because you run away from every little bit of discomfort, you have no resilience. You have no grit. So when life inevitably hits you with something genuinely hard, a real challenge, a real failure, you have no strength to deal with it. You crumble because you never trained for it. The cage of comfort is the training ground for weakness. And here's the twisted irony. The more comfort you chase, the more fragile you become. The smaller your world gets. You can't handle loud noises, negative feedback, or an inbox with more than 2 unread messages. You think that's normal? That's not peace. That's paralysis. That's what happens when you choose short-term ease over long-term strength. The only way to build mental muscle is to do hard things, on purpose. I call it the do something that sucks daily principle. It doesn't have to be huge, it can be small. Take a cold shower for 1 minute. The water is freezing? Your body is screaming, get out. Good. Stay in. You're teaching your brain that you are in control, not your fleeting feelings of discomfort. Go to the gym when you don't feel like it. Clean your room when you'd rather just scroll on your phone. Work on that hard project for just 15 minutes instead of putting it off. Each time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you're putting a new brick in your mental fortress. You're building calluses on your mind. And don't just do hard things when they show up. Seek them out. Make them part of your routine. Wake up early just because it sucks. Speak up in that meeting even though your hands are shaking. Tell the truth when it would be easier to lie. Every act of voluntary discomfort is a vote for the kind of person who can't be shaken. You are proving to yourself over and over that you can handle discomfort. And a person who can handle discomfort is a person who cannot be easily broken. Let's put it all together. 1. You stop being an emotional puppet by using the strategic pause. 2. You forge your own crown, freeing yourself from the need for anyone else's approval. And 3. You escape the comfort cage by doing hard things on purpose. A mind built on these 3 pillars is not normal. It's a fortress. In a world full of people who are emotional puppets, approval junkies, and professional complainers, a person with this level of internal control seems almost alien. And yes, in a world of sheep, a free lion is a terrifying sight. Not because of its roar, but because of its absolute refusal to be tamed. Their calmness is unnerving. Their focus is relentless. Their resilience is terrifying. And here's the wild thing. This kind of strength doesn't look flashy. It doesn't need to. It shows up in silence and consistency, in the way you carry yourself. You walk differently when you know nothing outside. You can shake what's built inside you. People might not understand it. They might mock it, test it, or try to break it. But they will always feel it. The ones who've built nothing will always fear the one who built himself. This isn't about scaring people for fun. It's about building a mind so strong that the things that break everyone else don't even leave a scratch on you. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't just survive chaos but commands it. It's about earning your own freedom. So, are you going to keep living inside a house of cards, or are you ready to build a fortress? The choice is yours, but don't forget, mountains don't move for opinions. They move because they decide to.